Welcome one and all to the Arcanic Archives. I am, of course, the Archivist, and today we're trying Kano in the Classic Constructed format. It is not a great time for Kano at the moment in CC because mostly of Dromai, which is far and away his worst matchup, and also the most represented deck in the now evolving post-Lexi metagame. However, I don't really have any aspirations outside of maybe taking down a few games at my local ProQuest, but here we are anyways. I have enough fun playing Kano to make it worthwhile, even in the face of lots of dragons that you don't have a whole lot of cards that can target. So anyways, this deck list isn't too far off the beaten path. We have the standard equipment loadout up here. And then the only other two equipments we're running are Alluvion Constellus and Waning Moon for the Wizard match. It's essentially obligatory. It's a very different game plan. Yeah, so up here, our reds are our power cards. These are the cards that we want to be playing, because of course they only pitch for one. Aether Flare, Aether Spindle, Aether Wildfire, Blazing Aether, Swell Tidings. I quite like Swell Tidings. This is one that you can take out in some matchups, especially those where you might want to bring in Snapback and try to go a bit wider, but in matchups where you think your opponent's going to have AB3, Swell Tidings is great to get some chip damage in. And then Tome of Aetherwind to either buff or draw as needed. Our yellows, we have just 3 Lessons, 3 Sonic Booms, and 3 Tomes of Findall. Tome of Findall is an interesting one. I play mostly Blitz, that's just what my local store does, so that's what I know more about. And I actually don't run any Tome of Findalls in my Kano Blitz deck. I think it's too slow for the format. I much prefer Chain Lightning. It can really speed up the deck. And I have one in the sideboard here. If we're against someone like Fi or Dash, who's going to just turn the game into a race, or maybe even Dromai. I think you need to race Dromai down more often than not. I'd swap a Tome for a Chain Lightning. I'd love to find sideboard space for one more Chain Lightning, just haven't been able to do so yet. And then our blues are pretty standard. I'm not completely sold on Emeritus Scolding. I run red and blues in my Blitz deck. I don't like red Emeritus Scolding in CC, it's just not reliable enough. This could also be blue Voltic Bolt for a little more consistency. Some people I know really like blue Voltic, but Emeritus is, the highest damage you could get out of a 2-cost blue if you Kano it off on the opponent's turn. Energy Potion, it's great. Play them down early if you can. Gaze the Ages is incredibly fun. I have 1 Potion of Deja Vu just because it does stuff that no other card does. It's like you can play a bunch of cards out of your hand if you can activate Kano a few times, crack the Deja Vu, put everything you just pitched on top of your deck, and then let the Kanos resolve, play them off that way. Fun card. Don't get to use it a whole lot. Most of the time you're just pitching it, because if you don't get it off early on like a Kano activation or something, it's really hard to take a turn off to play it. Taking a turn off to play Energy Potion is okay, mostly just because having those extra resources for your combo turn is so important. We have a handful of 0-cost, deal 1 arcane damage things. These guys have surge effects, which sometimes you get people's tunics with sap, which is kind of fun. Scalding Rain. Singe is very bad, but it's almost obligatory because of Dromai again. And then moving on to the sideboard, it's like disproportionately for the Dromai matchup. You have Ether Darts because you need to be able to kill dragons, especially Thamai, otherwise you just cannot combo. Imperial Edict, this is one that I just added. You don't see it a whole lot anymore, but in very long matchups, something like, I don't know, I had a game a little bit ago where I just got absolutely slaughtered by Arachne, of all people, which is actually cool to see because I love Arachne. But against decks the game's going to go very long, and you know that they're going to be sandbagging an Oasis waiting for your Aether Wildfire, Imperial Edict is actually pretty good. I'd bring this in for Guardian and Assassin. Nourishing Emptiness is for a popper against Illusionist decks. Not sure if 1 or 2 is the right call here. 1 Red Singe just to mop up Dromai's Ashwings. Snapback for your go wide matchups. I wish I had enough space to just play Snapback all the time. It's so much fun. Chain Lightning again for the faster matchups. Scours in here for the Rune Blades primarily. If you can wreck Viserai or Vincett's Rune Chance and deal some damage in the bargain, it's very good. Warmongers is another one I'm not so sure on. It's good in more matchups than not, so I think it's fine to keep. But again, it doesn't really advance your game plan much, it just slows the opponent down. But if you like get lucky enough to Kano this on the top off at the top of your deck, and then can, you know, play an energy potion or something, then it doesn't feel so bad taking a turn off to play that potion. Anyways, so that's our deck. I'm going to refill my coffee, and then we'll get into some Talishar games. For Dorinthea, Warmongers is not the worst. We'll just take out a Singe because that doesn't do anything. This matchup, depending on how much Arcane Barrier they bring, can go sort of either way. I've seen Dorinthea's just roll up with one Arcane Barrier, and then I'm like, yeah, great, and then just run them over. So I'm tempted to go for like the fast package and like drop a Tome for a Chain Lightning, drop maybe a Swell Tidings for a Snapback. Also sometimes drop an Aether Spindle for a Snapback, but I'm not sure that's worth it. Could drop a Flare, but Flare's just pretty good. So we're at 33 blues. We're going to go to 32. Yeah. Okay, so 32 blues means that we can rage against the RNG gods if we draw a 4 red hand. Alright, let's rock and roll. Okay, we get the turn 0 Blazing Aether, which is just miserable. Since we have the lesson, I might just end up pitching that away. Okay, so they have AB2. So that means we could lesson and then like just Kano a Flare off the deck. Or we can play the Tome, try to have some fun, and then just Arsenal the lesson. I think that's what we do. We're gonna play the Tome. Now let's Kano first. No, don't play this in. Oh, goddamn. Okay, Kano. Sorry. Into Wildfire. Good God. Do we banish it and then just play the Tome? Because we're not going to be able to, you know, leave this in Arsenal. We're also not going to be able to effectively play it. I'm going to banish it and then just not do anything with it. That feels so bad. But, oh, so we have the E-Pot. This has gone all sorts of bad. So let's Kano with this for Gaze the Ages, which does work because we played the Tome. Okay. So we can do some silly stuff with Gaze, like Gaze, pitch Gaze into Kano, Gaze again, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It's just excessively opting. So let's top, and then Kano into the Tome. Keep it going, I guess. We don't want the Blazing Ether this early. Oops, all Lesson in Lavas. Just keep it going. Ether Quickening. Deal some damage. Now we will Crucible. Then Quickening. 3 whole damage. We have 6 cards in the pitch. Okay, so they just take 1. Yeah. So at this point, we're done being stupid. Let's stack Blazing, Lesson, Gaze, Energy Potion. Put the Lesson in Arsenal. Yeah. The top of our deck was not our friend there. So we did a whole lot of fiddling around to deal 1 damage, and we also had to banish one of our prime combo pieces. Alright. So I pitch a red Overpower. That's interesting. So I think here we'll just block 6. And if they can push it over, good for them. If not, they don't get to do anything. Okay, so they do have another red Overpower. Yikes. Okay, so I'll get to poke us again. They're going to have to give us the bolters if they want to. Oh, I have the pass priority here. Our turn, we're just going to do Spindle for 5. Okay, so that they don't poke us again. That's probably good. If they had, we would have blocked to deny them the counter. Alright, so here, this is great for us. Just push some damage and also sculpt the top of our deck a little bit. We have a Lesson in Arsenal, which is very good. Sort of softens the blow of having the one Wildfire stuck in Banish. So unfortunate with it being card number 5. Alright, so we dealt 3 damage. I think we like all of these cards. We can try to do some fun stuff with Snapback on their turn, maybe. So we'll just keep all these. That's fine. They also gave us 2 reds, which is sort of wacky. They're going to just try to get in for 6. So here we probably want to block 6. Just so they can't do anything fun. I wish this was an energy potion, but we'll probably just play that out. This is wizard, non-attack, so that's not good, I think. So we can either sit on the snapback for later, or Kano once for free, but then we won't have any resource to pay for it. I think we sit on the snapback, try to get some damage in later. Yeah, so not a very good turn from them, but they didn't have a lot of resources. So here we're just going to play our Potion of Deja Vu, which we might get to do some silly combos with. I like the fact that we have Sonic Boom. So I'd love for them to not be able to present a whole lot of damage, which is probably wishful thinking. Okay. So we could block 6 and then just Crucible Sonic Boom. We could just take it and make them have it, but they probably have it and they have a lot of resource to work with. I think, yeah, unfortunately we're going to do this for the sake of being able to have some fun with Sonic Boom on our turn. I don't know if I personally overvalue Sonic Boom or not. It's one of the, like, silliest wizard cards. Okay, so if they're playing Glint, that probably means they can push at least 1 point of damage over. Okay, so they are going to fetch, yeah, Iron Song Response to get the hit in. Makes sense. Good for you. They don't need to break those. So that wasn't good. We'll probably just have to take the hit here. They're going to get a counter, but being able to do something silly with Sonic Boom is worth it. Okay, maybe that wasn't worth it. That's pretty bad, actually. It's taking a whole bunch of damage. But isn't that what Kano does in CC? Take a whole bunch of damage and then maybe do something cool? Since we have the Deja Vu, gotta keep that in mind. We're gonna deal at least 2, which no card on the deck costs more than 2, so that doesn't matter. And woohoo! 1 damage. Let's target myself. Just kidding. I'm so excited. Okay, we did get rid of Iron Song Determination, which is great. That card terrifies me. Okay, so we kind of low-rolled the Sonic Boom, and also low-rolled the drawing of this hand. Alright, so we have 1 lesson in Arsenal, 1 in Graveyard, 1 in Deck. So here, what do? You can block 6, hold on to the Wildfire, and then Crucible Lesson for the other lesson? Or... That's probably the best thing to do. I mean, we could also just block with the other Wildfire, but then we're down to 1. And that doesn't feel great. So let's... We also have the problem of they can almost certainly get the damage in. So do we block the second attack with like 3 cards? But one of those cards would then be Wildfire. I mean, so with Dawnblade Dorinthea, if you cover up the first attack, you can't really do anything about it. But now overblocking doesn't do all that much. It's only, like, any, Iron Song response type reaction will get them there. So let's pass. Do we block? It's always a toss-up here. Let's... My gut says pass. So we'll pass. Not sure if that's right or not. So this might be where they have to use the bolters for go again. Yeah, they do. Makes sense. So now I will block 6. And yeah, so now they can just grab, like, I don't know, Iron Song response for free damage again. Yep. Where have I seen this before? Okay, so here we're going to just Crucible the Lesson in Arsenal. We'll deal 2 damage. So we can get the other lesson. Just to have it. Lessening into lesson is pretty good just because it keeps the chain going and it gives you that consistency if you're trying to do the Wildfire lesson blazing line. Okay, so we just get the blazing. That's interesting. So this is the part where I think, like, the fact that they only have Arcane Barrier 2 and they might not have Oasis means that we can try to get them with, like, Wildfire, Wildfire for 4, if we push it up twice, but I think the full Wildfire lesson combo is, like, 11 resources. So we pitched a Blazing Aether early. Let's do this. I'm really missing the energy potion. Now they out for blood. They don't have go again. That's alright. So here we'll just Crucible Lesson again. And we'll probably just have to fetch Blazing here. For safety's sake. So they take just 2. I would love to be able to chip them down some more, but with the Dawnblade's a 1 for 5, which is awful. So they pitch Twinning Blade. That would tell me that they have either a non-attack that gives go again, and they think they can hit. 29 is an awful lot of life to try to kill them from. I think we're sort of at that desperation stage, aren't we? Okay, so this would be a hand It would be lovely if we didn't if we didn't die and could play Sonic Boom. Not optimistic about that, however. As I pitch a red. Ooh. This tells me they don't have a lot of resource. I'm gonna just take this, see what they do. Because if they just hit us for 5 and pass, that's a golden opportunity to have some fun with Sonic Boom. But also having the Boom and Potion of Deja Vu is also pretty good. And so they just pass here. And to that I say, let's party. It's always a party with Sonic Boom. Let's hope this goes better than the last one. Just take all 4, it's fine. They seem pretty responsible. Okay, so they do Pitcher Blue. We get Swell Tidings. That is quite literally the best we could have hoped for. Sonic Boom into Swell Tidings just feels so good. Okay, so do we keep the blue so we have it? Or do we Kano again and try to very inefficiently set up our deck? If they have a Oasis in Arsenal, they have the Tunic resource for it, which is not ideal. I think I will Kano here. For Gaze the Ages, that's, again, the best we could have hoped for, because that's a free opt to 2 energy potions. So we're going to Kano one of them into play. And I think we keep the other one and attempt to combo. That is so funny. They've been waiting for us halfway through the deck. So let's keep it so we know we have a blue. I mean, it doesn't block, which is bad, but also... man, I'm afraid they have Oasis. Let's keep them both. Get one into play right now. Okay, so now that we have... we have our energy potion. So if we draw 3 blues here... No, we've spent all our lessons. Okay, so the lessons combo is offline, but we have Blazing Aether, so really any middle pieces of the combo are going to be fine. That's where we want to, hit them for big damage with Wildfire, and then, okay, that's not good. Although we could do some things where we Chain Lightning into Tome of Aetherwind and just go crazy with card draw. Problem here is that if they have a reaction, we're dead and we have to combo. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, kind of. Because we can sort of cheat with Potion of Deja Vu and use cards for resources and also play them. So the chances that they have a reaction that kills us here are pretty high. So we could block 5 and then just play out the second E-Pot, but the temptation to do some Chain Lightning stuff with Potion of Deja Vu is very strong. No, it's sucks, but it's the more responsible thing to do. Let's see if they... Oh, they don't. Okay, that we got kind of lucky there. So we will just Windmill Slam Energy Potion. But now they have a full hand. But we're also... let's see what we draw. Okay, not the most stellar draw, but the Energy Potions might help us. We also have the option to flare, Wildfire into Flare into just the world's largest zap, followed by Blazing Ether, which is pretty sexy. Okay. So we need some coffee for that one. Let's see. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 resources. And so what we would be... I'm going to send them the thinking message, so I need a minute. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can't really Metacarpus Wildfire, which is bad. But do they have, like, Glint? Yeah, this is not Stellar again. So we block 8. And they probably couldn't kill us, but then we don't really have anything to do on our own turn. That gives us a chance to draw some more resource. Oh, but Flare. Oh, man. The potential of Wildfire Flare. Okay, I'm going to pass here. Force them to play a reaction if they have it, and then we'll try to do something fun. They don't have it again? What kind of cards do they have? Like, I'm so confused. Like, were they afraid to push damage because we could have just comboed? So what do we do now? We could Kano, hope for like a 0 cost, and then do Crucible Flare, play whatever it is. I think that's better than drawing with a tome. Could also like Kano here. You could Kano twice. But then we'd have to like grab our Tunic resource and then know that we're doing Flare into Zap. We'll save the Deja Vu for our turn. So let's Kano. That's kind of the worst. But I think, so we need 3 resource. Yeah, so I think we sack our Tunic resource here in order to do Flare Scolding just for some more chip damage. Yeah, that's... I don't know. Should some amount of my Emeritus Scoldings be Voltic Bolts? Probably. So this is kind of telegraphed since they saw the Emeritus. Smart thing to do is just 82 on the Flare. Oh, 2 reds. That is what we like to see. So now we can do this for a total of 3 damage. But again, any damage is good damage. Okay, so we're probably pretty safe to combo. Oh, especially because now we can Deja Vu. They got... I still think their arsenal might be Oasis, though. But what more setup, like, outside of the 3rd E-Pot? Like, what more setup can we hope for here? It's like we can Kano twice with our whole hand. And then get Blazing and Tome banished. Could also use Tome not to draw, but to pump the Wildfire. And Wildfire for, like, what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then Blazing, assuming they have Oasis, then Wildfire still deals 4. Is there any way we get to play the Flare? So we can... Yeah, Potion of Deja Vu really creates some scenarios where you're just like, what in the world am I supposed to do with these cards? Because we could Kano with 1, 2, 3, and banish Blazing and Tome. Then we have Flare in hand. We could Ragamuffin it. Then we're not gonna... Well, we're gonna have to use all of our potions to... Yeah, so I think... Yeah, I don't learn very well through just, like, staring at a board state like this. I need to do the combo, and if I lose, whatever. So let's rock and roll. We're gonna... 1, 2, 3. So do we put another Kano on the stack? I think so. And we respond with Deja Vu. We want the 2 blues and then Blazing and Tome. Resolve, yes. Resolve, yes. So let's do this guy to draw 2 cards. Then we will Kano this. 0 cost is actually pretty good here. Okay, so now we need to... also use Ragamuffins to take a peek. Might as well. Because we have the blue in hand, but like if there's another Blazing Aether on top, which is a possibility. Alright, so let's go for it. We will Rags, Energy Potion. So we're just pitching this. So it's fine to put the Flare on the top of the deck. So we could Kano into it. Then... Okay. So if we Kano into the Flare, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resource, and we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm not counting the energy potion. Okay, so I think we... No, that was with activating Kano to get the Flare. Oh my god. Yeah, Kano is like nothing else. That is for darn sure. So we have 2 from the... So 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the Flare makes 6. So I'm assuming we deal 2. I'm going to assume they have Oasis. So we deal 2. Flare deals 3. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flare deals 3, and then adds... That's enough, I think. Oh heavens, whatever. Okay, so Kano... Yes. If only this were red Flare. And we definitely have enough. Okay, so now we need to Cruci, Striders, Epot, Wildfire. Yeah, we need to crack this. God of Metacarpus. So is that an Oasis that's been in Arsenal this whole time? Let's find out. If not, they're absolutely dead. If so, they might be dead. Okay, so they take 4. They're almost certainly dead. So now we Progno. We have to say no to Metacarpus from this point on. Okay, so now we're opting. Doesn't matter. Okay, so Progno L4. So then we flare. Gotta say no. Then we blazing for a whole bunch. For 22! Woohoo! I'm going to say go first here, mostly because they can do some silly dominate stuff and just get a lot of free damage on turn 0. So Azalea. Warmongers is very good. I think I will have a Chain Lightning here. And a Snapback. So we are at 32 blues. I am not going to forget to bring in a Nourishing Emptiness on the off chance that we get to do Codex of Frailty stuff. We can bring that back from the graveyard. So let's... So that's 31 blue. Okay, we will roll with that. Okay, we don't get the turn 0. Oh my god, they have no Arcane Barrier. We are okay, so whenever somebody doesn't run Arcane Barrier, I make it my mission to teach them why they should. Oh, they have 1 Arcane Barrier. Okay. 1 is not enough. So my point still stands. So we can try to get some free damage by doing Lesson into something else and then Kanoing it off the deck. So we will Crucible the Lesson. So they're going to take at least 3, which means we could, like, Kano into Sonic Boom, which is awesome. Do we want to do that? We could also get no. Okay, Sonic Boom is the fun choice. Swell Tidings is the responsible choice. Because we have 1 floating, so we'd have two resource we don't use, but we just deal a whole bunch of extra damage with the Swell Tidings. But no, I'm gonna make the fun choice. This is a casual game after all. So let's do that. We get the Sonic Boom. We'll probably deal 2 damage, which is pretty good. And we get Tome of Aetherwind, so we can get some redraws, and then maybe Kano into more fun stuff. And that is exactly what we'll be doing. Sap, that's not very fun, but it's something. So we just Kano again. Blazing Aether, which is actually not bad here, because we have dealt some damage. Like, yeah, it's using a combo piece early on, but since we have it, yeah, I mean, that's presenting 5. Okay, so it's almost a tie game on turn 0. That is great. Equity for the Wizards of the world. So we'll do Gaze, and then I guess the 0 costs, and then Scalding Rain. We don't have an Arsenal, but, I mean, we already got the lesson, better to be lucky than good, I guess. But we can, on their turn, or on our next turn, we could do like a big Ether Spindle, put the lesson in Arsenal. Oh, but they're coming after us with Remorseless. What does it say if I already have the effect? You didn't hit me with it. Remorseless is actually pretty bad for us. Okay, so they do 5 go again here. So we gotta think. We're only going to be playing 1 action on our turn, so I'm not super concerned about the Remorseless hitting. So we're just gonna take the E-Strike. Okay, now I'm much more concerned about the Remorseless hitting. But it is just a Blood Rot. Yeah, but damage is damage, you know? So now we... No, they have such low Arcane Barrier that we want to get the damage in while we can. So they play the Remorseless, which is now for 8. So we can block 3, which is technically better than pitching to Blood Rot. Saves us 1, so we'll block with the Ether Guard instead. It's technically suboptimal compared to Prognosticate, because they don't have allies. So yeah, we will take 5, and then we will lose a combined total of 3 life from the Blood Rot next turn, and the Remorseless life loss. But again, we're just going to try to burst them down as absolutely fast as possible, since they have 1 Arcane Barrier. I wonder if they have Oasis. Now I'm wondering if they actually know how to play against Kano at all. If you take an Aether Spindle on the chin, you're very confident, because letting the Kano opt 5 is just absurd. Okay, so we see Wildfire. So what we can do here, we're going to put our Lesson in Arsenal. But we also see Tome. I think Potion of Deja Vu is a little awkward because it doesn't block. So what we might do, bottom this, bottom the Tome, keep the other 3. Well, we're also not going to be able to play Sonic Boom. It's probably just going to be blocking fodder. We can Lesson for Lesson next turn off of the Zap. Okay, so let's bottom. Should have kept the Sonic Boom just to block with. It's okay. We'll draw those guys. So now we pass, take some Blood Rot damage, Arsenal our Lesson, and a whole bunch of Ether Flares that are going to be on blocking duty, I bet. Okay, so they're going to just do a big Bolton Shot. It's a little awkward because now it's going to be for 7, so we can't block it out. Oh, heavens. Okay, so we're trying to burst them down. They're trying to burst us down. Oh, and the inertia is actually... oh, man. That's actually really problematic at this moment. Surprised I didn't crack the Braces of Belief just to really nail us. Okay, so this is 10. Holy smokes. So we're either giving up the Tunic or giving up this Wildfire. What we can also do is deal 3 damage with the Lesson, put Wildfire to top, then it doesn't so much matter that we lost this one. Then we won't have an Arsenal, though. We could also just block 12. Well, no, we don't want to block with the Wildfire. But if we lose the Tunic, that's pretty bad. Inertia is the most interesting disease token because it does stone nothing in some matchups, and it's like a real head scratcher in the Wizard matchup because it's really bad for you. So how about... It's not impossible that we can kill them from 26. It's very unlikely. We'd rather have Wildfire and Arsenal than Lesson. So do we give them the Tunic? Yeesh. You know what, I think... Yeah, we could Lesson for the 3rd Lesson. Or, sorry, Lesson for another Wildfire. Then we don't have guaranteed Blazing Aether. I think... Inertia just makes you bottom the cards. It doesn't shuffle your deck. So we're going to give them 9, but keep our Tunic. And then our turn, we're going to be playing... We're going to Crucible, Lesson in Lava. Okay, they have no follow-up. That's pretty good. Yeah, so right now we will just Crucible, Lesson in Lava for a little bit of chip damage, but more importantly, find another Wildfire. they take all 4, they have no fear. It's a little dangerous for us. So yeah, so we could get the other lesson, but I think it's just better to get the wildfire, and then we can try to pray that we survive one more turn cycle to stick this guy in arsenal, and then combo the turn on their 2 turns from now. Okay, so we're going to grab the wildfire. We will pass. We will lose no cards. Okay, we draw Warmongers. That is suboptimal because we'd rather just Kano that off the deck and make them sad. Okay, so we're going to opt here. Hopefully they don't try to dominate another inertia arrow. Looks like we're going to be blocking again. Oh boy. Oh, this is miserable. Yeah, the second Lace with Inertia was... I don't care about the damage, honestly. The second Lace with Inertia is a killer. Okay, so we could not block this out even if we wanted to. Do we try to combo them now? There's no way that's the right call, is it? Oh, yeah, we'd be taking remorseless damage if we tried to Kano right now. So we'd kill ourselves trying to combo. So, 22's a lot, but we have 3 blues plus Tunic. We have the Wildfire. It's going to take some lucky Kanoing. I mean, we also could just block 12 and wait it out. But then we're down 2 Wildfires, 2 Lessons. I don't know. I'm going to pass. Yeah, we're gonna try for the combo. Okay, so now it is deterministically lethal, but they have exactly 1 resource. No, this guy was used. Okay, so they have 2 resources that they could Arcane Barrier 1 with. So now we will Kano. Pitch this. We're hoping for just 0 cost damage spells. The second Wildfire, holy moly. Well, that's actually our last Wildfire. So we can, oh, man. Wildfire into Wildfire by itself isn't enough, though. But now we can save on playing the first one. We can use the first one for pitching now. So we have 6 resources, and we need 2, 4, 5... No, we have 7 resources. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7... I don't know, so we can do 1 for 6 and 1 for 3... And I mean, do 1 for 6 and 1 for 4... Okay, so that's not enough damage by itself. So we need to... Man. Do we Ragamuffin the Prognostic? Well, that's also not going to be enough. Oh, this is so awkward. Because being able to do some double Wildfire Madness is really insane, but I don't know. If we get lucky and draw a blue off Rags to put the Prognosticate on our deck, what would we have to do to make that work? So we can Crucible instant this guy with 1 blue, Strider's out the other one with a 2nd blue, then we have no card in hand. So... And we can't really afford to Kano, so we need to strategically pitch. So like we can play this guy... and then activate Striders just to see what we have on... Oh man, this is hurting my head again. Hopefully our opponent is understanding. Seems like they are. Oh boy. So... can Crucible this guy, then activate Striders. We do have our Tunic resource. How does that change things? I don't know. Let's... Tunic. For our Striders. That resolves. So now we need to play the Wildfire in hand first. Hopefully I didn't screw this up. Can we afford to Crucible? We honestly don't really need to, because if we Wildfire any other card, we'll kill them. Hopefully. But also, like, it also might not. If it's just like a 0 for 1. So we should. So if we Wildfire, we have 1 float. And then we can Rags. Maybe the Prognosticate. Okay, so let's not Crucible, just for safety's sake. We want to pitch you. I think, as I mentioned in one of the other games that I recorded that will be in this video, I learn much better if I do the combo, and then if I end up doing it wrong, it's fine, I learn from it, rather than if I just sit here thinking about it for 10 minutes. I've already thought about it for a long time. Okay, so now we can do the Ragamuffin check. Just to see what there is. Oh, it is a 0 cost. Probably should have clicked Progno, but whatever. Okay, but now we definitely just don't have enough resources to... Like, we can Kano that off the deck, but then we can't play the other Wildfire. We can play the other Wildfire with a bunch of buff, but that doesn't do it. Yeah, without Blazing Aether, you don't really have it. Let's just... Oh, we came so close to having the double Wildfire Dream, but we just did not have enough resource for it. We'll do this. Yeah, so we dealt 4 with the first one, 8 with the second one, so that's plus 12 on anything else. So yeah, like 1 more blue card, or if like the Wildfire was an Arsenal or something, we would have done it, but now we are dead. I guess we could have blocked with the Tunic. But then we have no equipment, and we probably just get run over next turn. So that was technically suboptimal, but yeah. Okay, so that's an interesting game, and I, again, learned a lot from it, even though we ended up just short of greatness. So Katsu. What do we want for Katsu? This matchup can go kind of fast, so I might take a Chain Lightning instead of a Tome. Warmongers doesn't really do anything. He doesn't have any non-attacks he likes. So I think I will drop a Singe for a Snapback. That leaves us at 32 blues. We could go down to 31. Maybe we will. Okay, hopefully that's not too greedy. Standard equipment setup, because we're playing Kano, why not? Alright, and he put us first. Okay, is somewhat responsible, has Arcane Barrier 2, plus Tunic and Mask of Momentum. That's pretty good. So here, since we're up first, we can sort of try to just get some free damage since we don't have a lot of high impact cards in hand. We can see what we hit off the top of the deck. Aether Quickening, that's not great, but we'll take it. So that could let us Quickening, then Snapback off of 1 blue. But also Snapback is a fine card to put in Arsenal for later, so I think it's safe to Kano once more. To Prognosticate. It's also kind of free damage. This isn't going to work, but we can Crucible the Prognosticate. See if we get the Opt 1. Almost certainly won't happen unless he really likes his hand. Okay, so getting rid of some reds. Then we can try Quickening. Depending on what they pitch. Okay, so do we snap back here? It is technically guaranteed damage. Why not? Okay, so they want to keep that last card. I guess we'll stack Emeritus first. Okay. So we get some combo pieces here. It's a bit early, so we might end up blocking with this Wildfire. Okay, so he's just going to throw a Command and Conquer at us. That's very interesting. There is no reason to not just take this. We have no Arsenal. I've never seen Katsu play Pummel, but I guess you could. Okay, so I mean, he could tutor for something, but it's not like you could do anything with it. There's no point in Kanoing here. Alright. So Sonic Boom could deal 2 damage. And that's probably what we're going to do. Then we could put the Lesson or the Wildfire in Arsenal. Although, I might end up just pitching the Wildfire to something. Because it's so early, and we have Lessons. These are the questions that I'm still trying to work out for myself as I learn the format. Like, is it worth keeping the Wildfire this early? Because it sort of seems like a brick. So the right choice last turn might have been to actually block with it, just to save on life. So I think I'm actually going to Crucible with the Wildfire. Yeah, I probably should have just blocked with it. See if that 3 life comes back to haunt us. What instant are they waiting on, I wonder? And it could be possible that they just Oasis or Sonic Boom and I get sad and pass the turn. Okay, so we get a free Lesson. That is A+. And they gave us an Artivore, which is nice. So this is going to deal 1 damage. Probably. Yeah. So what 1-cost card do we get? So we could pitch this Lesson and play it, but that's really greedy. Because I want to put this Lesson in Arsenal, especially since we hit 1 off the deck already. I mean, we could get the other Lesson. You know, we could get the other Lesson off the one that we have in Arsenal. So they're already down to a 2-card hand. Or 1-card hand, 1 card in Arsenal. So whatever they do next turn isn't going to be probably the most impactful. So I guess we could get... I was thinking Tome of Findall, but that's not a wizard card. Get Tome of Aetherwind. We could get Aether Flare and just try to present some damage next turn. Or we could get Gaze the Ages just to have a good blue. But Gaze is better to hit off the top. We're going to say Aether Flare, I guess. Again, not confident that's a choice. We'll stack Wildfire first. Wonder if they just had a very non-functional hand. Maybe it's just double 100 wins. Okay, so this Aether Flare and then the Snapback was actually very good, because now we can Aether Flare and get some extra damage off the Snapback. So they just do the 100 wins. I think I'm just going to give them a blue here to deny the Katsu ability, because maybe they have another 100 wins in Arsenal, and we can do everything we need with this hand off of the one blue. Okay, so they're just going to pass. Excellent. I'm very happy with this turn of events. So we will Crucible the Flare for 4, and then Snapback will probably hit... Oh, they take all of it. They're going to regret that. Bam. Take 7. Okay, they just do take it. Now I'm actually scared. I was happy, and now I'm scared. Alright. What you got over there? It's a tie game for the moment, although we're going to take some damage. Okay, so maybe they have a more put-together combo turn. Alright, so they come in 4, go again. Surging Strike doesn't have any on-hit, but it would let them do the Katsu thing. I think I'd rather block something like a Whelming Gustwave, or something that has a draw effect, so I'll just pass. Are you playing Pummel just for Surging Strike? Oh, we did see Command and Conquer, too. Alright. Are you Katsuing? You are. We have another cup of coffee, even though it's afternoon. Okay, so they did get the Whelming Gustwave. Okay, so this is coming in for 4, which isn't great. But I really would love to deny them the draw. So, with the cards we have here, we could play the Lesson out of Arsenal, and then Arsenal is Tome of Findall. We could Lesson for Lesson number 3, Arsenal Tome. We do have another Aether Flare, which is always good, but since we want to block, Aether Flare is a little worse. So I'm going to give them Aether Flare, Singe on this Whelming Gustwave. They have a Razor Reflex, good for them. Because, yeah, that's a lesson. Okay. We'll roll with this. Okay, no reactions. No card draw for you. Okay, Mugenshi. I haven't played a whole lot of Katsu. I don't know what this does. So, if it hits, you get to get a bundle of Lord of Winds, which they're not going to be able to pay. I mean, they could pay the Tunic resource into, which essentially just buffs the power and... Okay, I'm not sure... I mean, we could just block it out, but then we're not doing anything on our turn. I think we'll just let them have this. Gonna get any... Yeah, I mean, any number. So, oh, so they are going to be able to pay... Because you pitch a Lord of Wind. Okay, so that's some free damage for them. And again, that's me learning a little bit more about this matchup and what to watch out for. So now we're leaking some Kodachi damage. But also now this is just a naked attack for 2 since they put the Kodachis on the chain. So yeah, we'll take this. Makes me a little nervous. Oh, they have Ancestral Empowerment. Are they going to break the Tide Flippers for go again? Because it might depend on what they draw. Okay, so they don't. Oh, but now they get the Massive Amount. Man. I'm really bad at this. Okay. So we get punished a little bit. Okay, so now we will Crucible, play the lesson for 4. So if this deals 2 damage, we grab a Wildfire, Arsenal the Tome, and then basically just try to block out, well, we don't want to block too much, but we won't be getting that much life from Tome, is what I'm saying. But we need to get the Wildfire, so we know we have it. So now we pass the turn. Arsenal the Tome. Okay. So we need to keep, I mean, we could use the Tunic resource on the Tome, but then we don't have the Tunic for our combo turn. We'll see what they do and how bad it is. Okay, so they just do E-Strike for 7? Okay, so you can't do what you can do with Snapdragon here. Okay, but if they have a Razor if we just say no blocks and they have a Razor Reflex, they make us look silly and we die. So I'm gonna say... we're not going to be able to play the Spindle. I'm going to give you the Spindle here. Just to prevent us from getting janked out with Razor Reflex. Okay, it doesn't matter if you Katsu because you don't have Go again. Okay, they pass. Okay, I think that was the best we could have hoped for. Okay, question. Do we use the Tunic resource to play the Tome? That essentially gives us 1 more life, but 1 less resource on the combo turn. And given we don't have any energy potions, I think it's more responsible to just do this. We'll be gaining 1 less life. Okay, so we draw an energy potion that we can't play. That's sad. So I think now we do a little bit of Kanoing to see what we can find. We're not going to be able to play this, are we? Because we're definitely putting Wildfire in Arsenal, so sorry, Energy Potion, it's not your day. Give us another Energy Potion on top. Oh, Sonic Boom. We are rewarded. So we're definitely going to Crucible the Sonic Boom. Yeah, pitch the Tome here. Then we could maybe get 1 more Kano. Because like if Sonic Boom goes into Energy Potion, then we can just Kano the Energy Potion off the deck. Okay, at least we get to play this for free. That's sort of a low roll off the Sonic Boom, but I mean, free damage is free damage. And they're giving us more cards. We'd love to see it. Okay, so we can Kano for free, basically, here. To see what's on top of our deck. Ooh, Chain Lightning. Oh, man. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. Okay. So we can banish it and then just leave it banished. Or we can say no and then draw it. Because we've spent all 3 lessons, right? No, we've spent 2 lessons. So, I'm going to say we keep it, because it's still a yellow pitch, and there's always a potential we can do a Ragamuffin trick to get it on top of the deck. And then it'd be, like, if you even just Chain Lightning out another 0-cost blue spell on a Wildfire turn, that's still very good. So at this point, we pass. Yeah, feel free to roast me in the comments if you think that was an awful decision, because I'm still not sure. We'll see how it works out. So we get our Wildfire in Arsenal, and we have an okay, but not great hand. They are at 20. Which is not impossible to do with a Wildfire. I did 35 in one of the other games in this video, but we want to stretch the game out as long as possible. Like if we can just play, if we can survive this turn. So this is Flusterfist, no go again. So I'm honestly tempted to just 6 block so they don't get a hit and don't get to do anything, or we can just value block and get an extra Kano activation. We could block with our Chain Lightning. They cannot Tide Flippers, they could Razor Reflex. They have not played their card in Arsenal in a while, so I'm afraid that's Oasis. Okay. So we'll take one. See, I don't think, there's no point in Katsuing. So this is great. Now let's Kano first and see what happens. Because if we see a 1 cost, then we can not Crucible the Swell Tidings. And we do see a 1 cost. So let's then play this guy. And we can wallop them with the Swell Tidings afterwards. Oh, they give us 2 reds. That's excellent. Always happy to strip cards, of course. Seeing the undo makes me think they might revert to the start of the turn. I feel like they're upset about pitching 2 reds. So now they just take 5 on the chin. We will pass. Their Wildfire and Arsenal at the ready. Okay, and we just draw the Blazing. Easy game, easy life. But again... Alright, so this one they could Tide Flippers to give go again. But I'm just going to block with a Tome. Because if we can just play the Energy Potion and then have Wildfire and Arsenal Blazing in hand, that is right where we want to be. This game has gone on long enough that I should have used the Tunic resource earlier, but still learning, of course. Okay, so we pass the turn. So we can get a free Kano with this. Okay, so they crack the Tunic in response to my Kano. What? Running through the generic card pool in my head, what in the world could they have? Like an Art of War... Art of War, I mean, you can do defensive stuff with it, but no one really does. Sonic Boom! Oh, my baby. Do we... The greedy line is a Crucible, play the Sonic Boom. But since they grabbed the resource, are they just waiting on an Oasis? No. We will say... We will banish, but we won't play. We're just gonna Windmill Slam, Energy Potion, pass the turn, draw 3 blues, A+, possibly make them feel silly for spending their Tunic resource. Okay. So this is probably going to have to be our combo turn. I'm not sure we're going to get a better window. Because we have 11 resource, actually 12 resource if you count the Tunic, which means we can even get some Metacarpus action going. I'm just going to no-block this. So the Surging Strike is what they had in Arsenal. Which means I guess they could have an Oasis in hand. But we actually might be able to brute force it since their life is so low. Let's see what they do with Katsu here. Alright. So this will be 4 go again, draw on hit. We can block with the Tunic, but then they get the draw. I'm going to send them the thinking message. So what can we do here? We can 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we gotta save 3 for this guy. And then, okay, so we can activate Kano and see what we hit. Hope it is a 0 cost or a 1 cost damage spell. So we will activate. Tome of Aetherwind, that's kind of gas. So we can use that to just draw a bunch of blues, or we can play something like Wildfire for 8, which assuming they Oasis and maybe Arcane Barrier, I mean that would take a lot of the resource. It's probably a better idea to just draw with a tome, because that gives us more Kanos and potentially more resources. But oh man, the big Wildfire is really tempting here. Alright, so we're going to tick on... I think it's probably safer to just send the Wildfire for 6 and see what they do. So now we Striders. Crucible. Then let's grab you. We will pay into Metacarpus here. Alright, please don't have Oasis. We're already onto the pitch to Arcane Barrier part, so they might not. Man, the Tome of Aetherwind, that is the big money. We were happy about that. Would you like to take 6 from Wildfire? I promise nothing bad will happen. Alright, so they take 4. So let's see. We can Energy Potion, activate Kano, do the Ragamuffin thing, just so we have the Blazing, and then Tome, draw, and try to get one more spell to put in the middle. I think we'll do that. So activate the Energy Potion, puts us at 4. Kano on the stack, respond, Rags. Okay, we draw a blue 0 cost. I mean, honestly, that would have been fine to Kano off the deck, but we didn't know, so that's a-okay. It's still a blue pitch. We will put Blazing to top, let Kano resolve, so now we have the Blazing for when we're ready. Let's then... what is actually the best thing to do? So they took 4, so Blazing will be for 8 at the moment, so really anything is going to, well, this would make it like 10, so it's still not quite there by itself, and they still have resources. So do we draw first, or do we just Kano with the Zap first? Let's Kano with the Zap. Okay, Potion of Deja Vu. That's not very good, but that will let us stack some 0 cost spells on the top of our deck. So we will probably get there with this. So we can Deja Vu, and then draw. Let's top the 2 0 cost damage spells, and then top these. So we know we draw the 2 blues that we're going to pitch. And then we Kano. We banish the Zap. Excellent. So let's zap them. We can pay for Metacarpus for the last one, for this one. But that's the last one we have. We Kano. For the sap, Take that, Spring Tunic. And we blazing for a whole bunch. What is it? 16. Nice. Boom. Got him.